Okay, so this is an interesting one. We're going to be talking about AI, like image manipulation AI, and an interesting thing that it is being used for. So, the other day, a girl named Megan Bitchell, I guess, posted this picture captioned, "They grill-pilled me with AI." And as you can see, in the first image, it's a picture of her in a pool wearing a swimsuit and drinking some kind of drink. And in the second picture that has been gone over with AI, she's wearing like an apron and like grilling while somebody with a hand is handing over some like toasted bread that's like massive. It's obviously, the AI is very fucked up. It doesn't really match, like, the background, the lighting's fucked up. It is really funny. It is objectively really funny that they've trad-wifeified this random woman on 4chan. You can actually see this is the original 4chan post. Wholesome Barbecue Edition. There's like a 4chan thread where they do this, where they like find random women who have posted something scantily clad online, and then they, like, use an AI to make it look like a wholesome, like, scene of, like, a woman with her kids or something like that. Now, this AI is called Dignif.ai. So it would be called Dignify, right? Now, as you all know, there's a big drama right now about AI being used to undress women. So it may surprise you that guys are also making AI for the sake of redressing women who have already undressed themselves for the internet. Which is weird, right? And it's strange that it's the same guys, too. The same guys who are using AI to undress women use the AI to redress them. And it's a sexual thing, it seems, in both cases. The fact is that for these guys, what they are into most when it comes to sex and women's sexuality is not the sexual attraction they have towards women. It's not, they don't just like seeing boobs or like seeing boobs be covered. They want to have control over a woman's sexuality. That is what they're into. We talked about this earlier when I did the segment where we went over Pixie's debate with Michael Knowles. The fact is that conservatives' biggest fear is women having sex as much as they want to. You see a lot of times where conservatives are like, oh, so it's bad to take a picture of an OnlyFans girl on the beach when she doesn't know? Like, have you seen that clip where it's like the old man on the beach taking like creep shots of like the OnlyFans girl who's live streaming herself, like on the beach? And a bunch of guys in the comments are like, what's the matter with what the guy's doing? She's literally live streaming it. And the fact is, they're indicating very clearly, at least by implication, that they don't recognize consent as mattering. The very obvious difference that should not be needing to be explained to anybody is that the woman is okay with her showing her body to her stream. She is not okay with a weirdo taking creep shots of her, and that's the only reason she needs to have to not be okay with it. There's no hypocrisy in what you're okay with as far as your body and what you're okay with sexually. There's no, like, debate bro hypocrisy callouts to be had there. But the fact is, they're just trying to make an argument where they can be the ones claiming that women's sexuality being explored consensually is a bad thing, and for them to pretend as though that's not a valid argument. They can't argue against that, but they have to pretend it's not a valid argument. So they try to pretend like there's some hypocrisy when women have consent. It's genuinely insane. Now, you of course had all the usual suspects, big conservative pundits, all glorifying this redress AI. Ian Miles Chong was glorifying it. Lauren Chen made a video talking about how great it is. And following the popularization of this AI, this story dropped from Rolling Stone. 4chan chuds used AI to clothe her. she fought back. Dignif AI, a 4chan-led campaign to, quote, put clothes on thoughts, is just another way trolls are using AI to humiliate women. As an adult content creator with a large following on the internet, Isla David has dealt with trolls before. Usually, her work combating online bad actors involves her trying to take down photos of herself that have been posted elsewhere without her permission, such as a photo for an ad for horny MILFs in your area that she's been trying to get removed for years. But she's also used to trolls editing her images without her consent. Quote, they're either subtracting clothes, editing my waist, or editing the size of my chest and my hips, she tells Rolling Stone. Quote, just generally treating me like a human Play-Doh, or like human Play-Doh, for them to mash around. On February 2nd, however, David found himself in a somewhat unusual position. A friend informed her that one of her photos, a sultry image of her sipping a bottle of Highland Park scotch while clad in a white button-down, which she'd posted on the subreddit r/whiskeyporn in 2021, had been going viral on what she refers to as the scuzzier corners of the internet, such as 4chan. The image had been edited not to remove her clothes, but to add them. The photo had been manipulated with AI, David says, to make her look like some strange parody of a woman. Her waist and thighs have been edited to look smaller. Oh yeah, of course these AI images you'll oftentimes find will make them look a lot skinnier and shorter to like childlike proportions. This AI is like started to get heavily leaning as more time goes on to make these women look straight up like 12-year-olds. Like, they'll have the same face, but it'll be photoshopped onto the body of, like, a 12-year-old. I'm not even joking. Like, you'll have, like, some big, thick, like, big booby lady who posts, like, a bikini photo online, and the result is like, oh, wow, you made her 12. Yeah. It's very weird, because it's trained on what these conservative guys using the bot are into, what they like. So the bot is going to always start creating essentially child porn when the people who are using said bot want to see child porn, and that's the data they're giving it. So yeah, the Dignif AI is probably not going to be around for very much longer, considering how much more sussy its output has gotten. At first, David was amused, particularly by the poor quality of the AI rendering. Quote, it looks like I'm sipping my AI baby's brain out through its ear, she says. But that amusement turned into... Oh yeah, here's the, Oh, fuck, hold on. Do I have to, like, copy the whole link? Yeah, so this is her. Yeah, no, this is literally... No, this is literally her! This is the example. Okay. So this is Ian Miles Chong's Twitter post. When given pictures of thirst traps, AI imagines what could have been if they'd been raised by strong fathers. So this is her in the first image. And then this is her, obviously, holy shit. Like, look at that. That's horrifying. This is her... In the edited image, she looks 14. Like, her body is that of a 14-year-old. I'm sorry. That is not, like, a mother's body by any means, okay? Like, you massive fucking downgrade here, proportions-wise. But, like, can you see that, like, the AI saw this and thought, no, this is not what the conservative men that use my AI, this is not what they're into at all. They're into this body proportions. Does that maybe not tell you something? That these are the bodily proportions that the AI is starting to, like, to go for? Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty weird. So this is the woman that the story is about. At first, David was amused, particularly by the poor quality of the AI rendering. It looks like I'm sipping my AI baby's brain out through its ear, she says. But that amusement turned to an overwhelming sense of horror, particularly when she saw the replies to Chong's tweet. The implication of many of the replies is that I'm something other than a whole person, she says. That I am some broken creature, and if I would just put on a long dress and have babies, all would be resolved. And I take umbrage with that, because my value has nothing to do with the images I choose to put online. The manipulated image, she said, was a, quote, attempt to violate me and my bodily autonomy, regardless of whether you're adding or removing clothes. The photo is part of a larger campaign spearheaded by 4chan trolls to use AI software to dress women on the internet more modestly. Dubbed DignifAI, a thread on the hate forum Poll summarizes the mission thusly. Quote, we're putting clothes on degenerate women for fun. Come join. The goal is for people to see that a degenerate lifestyle is ultimately fruitless. The thread also includes links to specific tutorials for people to use the program Stable Diffusion for this purpose, as well as instructions to, quote, include the name of the woman in the post so anons can @them, making it clear that the goal of the campaign is, of course, targeted humiliation. Dignif.ai initially went viral on X, formerly known as Twitter, with a post by the far-right influencer Jack Sobiek, of course, who on Friday posted 4 examples of the tool being used on what he referred to as e-girls, a derogatory term for women with front-facing persona on the internet. And accompanying, well, I think e-girl can be used like non-derogatorily, but it's oftentimes used derogatorily, especially nowadays. Although e-thoughts is just what you'd say if you wanted to be derogatory. An accompanying X account for DignifAI features manipulated versions of Instagram models, as well as celebrities like Miley Cyrus and Doja Cat, and a handful of male celebrities, and has garnered 28,000 followers. In a message to Rolling Stone, the person behind the DignifAI X account denied being behind the image that Chong had tweeted, which makes some degree of sense considering that the editing is noticeably worse than most of the photos on the DignifAI account. When asked what the purpose of the account was, DignifAI said, it's just an account to put more clothes on people, and did not elaborate further. But generally speaking, the campaign serves as a mirror image for an ongoing movement among trolls to use AI technology to strip women of their bodily autonomy. Deepfake nude photos and videos of women have gone massively viral alongside the rise of AI, with independent researcher Genevieve finding that nearly 143,000 deepfake pornographic videos were posted without women's consent last year. While celebrities such as Taylor Swift have largely been targeted, with one deepfake pornographic video of the artist garnering 45 million views on X last week, non-famous young women and children have also been subject to the horrifying phenomenon, including a 14-year-old New Jersey girl who, with her mother, is currently advocating for more stringent legislation governing AI-generated sexual abuse material. There was like a 14-year-old girl who had like AI porn made of her by a classmate and then disseminated around her school, and she committed suicide because of it. This shit is serious. Though various states, including Texas and New York, have passed laws criminalizing the spread of deepfake porn, it remains steadily available on search engines like Google and Bing, according to a recent analysis by NBC News. And though virtually all women on the internet are vulnerable to the technology, celebrities and online content creators remain particularly so, due to the sheer volume of media of them that is available on the internet. With the more recent campaign to clothe, quote, degenerate women, meaning those who fall outside a very narrow definition of how women should publicly behave, adult content creators like David are now facing an entirely new method of humiliation. For experience, David says, she knew taking legal action was pointless, as she has spent years trying to use DMCA requests to take down non-consensual images, to no avail. But she says seeing Chong's tweet was a very familiar feeling to seeing her image reused without her permission on tube sites or shady internet forums, or picked apart by misogynists. Quote, it's just another attempt to make me feel bad about the person I am online, she says. Whether it's calling me ugly, or whether it's complaining that my ass is too big or not enough, or too lumpy or not lumpy enough, at the end of the day, it's about finding fault with my body that I put online. At the end of the day, what they are trying to do is revoke your ability to consent and revoke your bodily autonomy on the internet. Ignoring the dictum to not feed the trolls. The dictum? Dictum? Am I missing a pronunciation for that word? David decided to fight back. She quote-tweeted Chong's post with the caption, "This might be the funniest attempt at negging me I've ever seen. Had to share." Oh, I actually retweeted this. Scroll down for the commenters who are clearly terrified of death by Snoo Snoo, a euphemism for sex with powerful women popularized by the show Futurama. I am not afraid of death by Snoo Snoo, for the record. In some ways, she's getting the last laugh. Since Chong posted the AI-manipulated image of her, she says she's seen a 594.4% jump in earnings from her OnlyFans in the last day alone, as well as thousands of new followers on X. But she also recognizes the sad reality that her experience is not an isolated one, not just for women in her industry, but for any woman who dares to maintain a public profile on the internet. Quote, it's not something that should be a reality of just being a human existing and making a product people want, she says. But yeah, this is something that regardless of the size of your account, regardless of the nature of the content that you're creating, you're vulnerable to this and to this kind of thing. You can be mad about it, or you can laugh about it, and those are kind of the only two options. Or you can not be publicly a woman on the internet, which for me at least isn't an option I'm inclined to pursue. Man, I must say, I do feel bad for this lady, but I'm also happy she was able to pull a massive dub out of all of it. She really did pull the dub out in the end. All of this, at the end of the day, is about taking consent away from women. The idea is that women should not be allowed to explore their sexuality or have sex as much as they want to. If they want to have a lot of sex, they should be forced to have less sex. If they don't want to have sex, they should be forced to have more sex so they can be forced to have babies and, be forced into having forced birth. Or they should be undressed with AI so these guys can jack off to them, as they do. The same guys who are dignifying these women, as they say, are the same ones that are declothing other women for them to jack off to. If you're a woman who's modest, they like the mystery and want to jack off to you and invade your consent. If you're a woman who's not modest, they find it disgusting that you're okay with them jacking off to you, and so they want to do something that you wouldn't be okay with, like redressing you. It's about control. It's the same reason that people rape, honestly. It's the same reason why rapists rape, is why people online are doing this. Conservatives... Not all conservatives are rapists, but most rapists are ideologically conservative.